One of the things I've been asked to do is do a workshop tour. Well, I'm going to do more than do that. We're going to do a workshop tour, and we're also going to do a fix up the place and make it a little bit more usable and everything. Now, I'm pointing you at the door that I walk into the workshop. Anybody who's been to one of the previous parties is going to recognise this place. So this is the hallway, where I currently have a tubing and a Star Wars upright that I'm working on. And then over here, this used to be the old office, which is now an absolute tip of storage at the moment. And the wood on there at the moment on the floor is part of what we're going to do over the next video or so. It might all be one video, I don't know. It might end up being 2 or 3, I'm not sure yet. I've got a Pac-Man table here, which I'm working on for somebody. Monitor's dead on that, so I've just got to pull the monitor out and get it sent off and sorted. I don't bother with monitors much these days. I send them off. It's just more economical for my time. And then I've got a TRON cocktail under there, which belongs to Phil Murphy from Nerg, which I've had here for a good few months, and I just need to sort the wiring out on it and convert it to to a switch mode power supply. Nice new inbox monitor there, which I managed to pick up off one of our other great forum colleagues, John Budd. And then all my collection of consoles and things like that. Anyway, so enough on that room. That's just the little 2-cent tour in there. So this is the workshop. And nobody ever really gets to see it in its entirety unless you've actually been here. So on the left we've got the green screen, which we sometimes stand against and film a few silly, wacky things. I used to DJ professionally, so here's kind of a smattering of records and the turntables and stuff, which are just getting into disrepair. I need to fix all the tone arms after somebody leant on one at one of the parties and smashed it. And then, so in the back here, that's actually the third ensuite bathroom to my apartment, which never gets used. It's a storage bathroom. Stick the light on there, so storage bathroom. We've got all sorts of boxes. I'm slowly getting, this is not as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago. And then right in the corner here, we've got boxes and components and things that we need to grab to go on events with and things like that, and tools. And this is how we generally, if you do this job, this is how you get things done. You end up just cramming absolutely everything in everywhere. So I'm going to pan around this way, so that's back out to the hallway and the door, which is open at the minute, just to let some air through. The monitor shelf that me and Mark built a couple of years ago, which is still nicely sitting there. It's got some tubes up there and some chassis that need resolving and things like that. And you know, I'm going to start getting round this. As soon as I've done this workshop move round and got things a little bit more organised to work in, that's what we're going to do. Here's an old services rack with a printer in it, a couple of computers. It was actually supposed to be an audio rack. It's got an amp down the bottom there and a patch bay and everything. Again, it's sort of like left over from the studio days. And then sort of working to the left, this is where I usually sort of work and play a little bit. So I have my Commodore 64 here with disk drive, and I actually recently got for the back of it a U1541-2 cartridge, which you can get from 1541ultimate.net. You can get one of those from. Then we've got just a pile of wires and some polish and things like that, a couple of 14-inch monitors. I've got my little keyboard that I got with the Mac for doing music and things like that. My 27-inch iMac, which has been through the wars a few times. Then we get on to new DJing territory over here, piece of kit that haven't really shown anybody, and it's kind of, you know, it's private to me, is that one. That's going to get moved out of here, but this is actually a Pioneer DDJ-SZ multi-turntable MP3 system. So it'll actually support 4 decks. Usually plug my MacBook Pro in up on the shelf up here, and it's raised up and everything. I know this is actually a sliding shelf for you to put the laptop on, but everybody knows I'm blind as a bat, so I can't see the LCD display on the laptop very easily from a distance, so I stick it on a big monitor. It's only ever for use in here. If I was ever going to go back out DJing again, I'd know exactly what was on what, and I'd cope, because I always do. And then, so let's get to the interesting bit. Here we go, here's the bench. So this is where all the, and some people might call it magic, happens. Oh, I'm just going to have to pause the camera just for a second and take this phone call. Alright, and I'm back. So that was an interruption from my brother getting something from up in town for me. Thank you very much, mate. Anyway, so where were we? Oh yeah, so over here's where what some people might call the magic happens. I call it the blood, sweat, tears and shouting at it and going, why won't you work like you're supposed to? What people don't realise is that I spend an hour on a video doing that repair, that might actually have taken a week to get done. And when I say a week, I mean probably several nights of 3-4 hours a night to understand what's going on and figure out that one component that's not doing what it bloody well should. Right. Anyway, I have a drawer set over here which is falling apart. That's going to get sorted out and put a couple of static shelves in it, and the drawers are going to get thrown away because they're nasty basically and dead. I use that to store boxes of Molex plugs and things like that. You see in this place at its worst at the moment deliberately because I want to show you what a mess it is before I start tidying it up. Over here we got Metcal SP440 desoldering rig, there's the box for it. A couple of speakers for things. This is the Ghetto Blaster Atari power supply system, which I built. It's got an AR3 on it at the moment, but it can be converted to an AR2 very easily. Use it to test Atari games, although I now have a proper bench supply which is coming in with this. 2 JBC soldering irons. These are and I can't remember the right term for it, these are what we call the skin effect, what's it called, temperature sensing thing. So basically down at the tip, they will sense the temperature of whatever it's making contact with, and will pump more heat into the tip if need be to get an even wattage coming out. So they have a setting control for temperature of what they want to try and achieve, and that's basically what the tip will do and try and force it down there. I have a small one and a larger, chunkier one for moving the stubborn connectors that happen on things like monitors, getting flybacks resoldered and things like that. A couple of shelves over here, I've got some EPROMs, spare EPROMs and things like that, ROM eraser, all that sort of thing. Test rig for the jammer harness. That's my Handtech DSO 5000 series oscilloscope, which I bought a few months ago, already thinking about getting a second one, and also a logic analyzer and things like that. LCD monitor, which is hooked up to this PC that's underneath the bench next to some power supplies. And we've got a Commodore 1084 monitor, which is used as an arcade preview monitor. We've got a old style CRT oscilloscope, and we've got the Fluke 9010 troubleshooter under there at the moment with a 6502 pod plugged into it. Cheers, Cole, for the loan of the pod still. Up here, boxes, various components and things like that. We're not going to go into what's in the box, we're not going to play that game. Try to be as organised as I possibly can, because I need to be able to find things when I need them. So I have capacitors in here, as well as in some little carry boxes that I can take out on site. The TTL data book, which is kind of the engineer's bible for all this kind of thing. If you haven't got one of these, try and find one. All the stuff is all on the internet. It's not a problem, but trying to find data sheets sometimes for things can be a nightmare. You will go through a million data sheet search archives that say that they're the PDF, but they're not. So you end up searching and searching and searching, you just tear your hair out, because then you can get a tiny single page of it, and then you can't download the actual full data sheet. But that has every 5.4 and 7.4 series component, plus also some of the 4116s and things like that. Some of the older components before the 7.4 series stuff came out as well, which has some information about some of that. And it tells you all the pinouts and what the characteristics are and things. Maybe I'll get the book out sometime and do something like that. In here we've got all the 7.4 series chips. The reason I can rattle through, and everybody else who does this sort of thing and is a hobbyist or doing professional level repairs will tell you, if you haven't got components to hand, it just slows things up. So this tray is full of 7.4 series components mainly. In fact, it's completely full now. Is that one bar? I think there's one space which might have something or may not. Nope, that one's empty. We've got space for one more chipset in there. And if we have to bridge, sometimes we double up, put 2 labels on. What's that one we got in? These are, what's that? Oh, they're CD40106 and MC14024 chips. Can't remember exactly what their function is, but I think one of them used on the Gorf controller for the comparator. Various other 40 series chips. Across here we've got some RAMs, CPUs, that kind of thing, and then some other bits and pieces. What's on the bottom here? Let's have a look. So that one is LM324, so LM stuff. And the phone goes again. So let's check the competence level. Is it my sibling? It is. I'll be right back. All these interruptions. Okay, so where were we? So yeah, RAMs and CPUs and LM series chips and stuff. Now, you can probably read them off the screen. I can't see them from this distance away, and I am my arm's length away, so that gives you kind of an indication of just how crap my eyesight is. But I can see a pinpoint on the circuit board a lot better than most people with normal vision can, so, you know, I get it. I have advantages and I have disadvantages, and I don't like to draw a lot of attention to it, but a lot of people commented on the videos about my vision and how close I have to get to things and stuff like that, and asked me in private and stuff, so, you know, let's just clear that up. My eyes are fucked, alright? End of, simple as, I have one that works, let's move on. The only thing it stops me from doing is driving, and people who try to hinder me by making my life difficult will be swept away by the roadside and will just basically be left to rot as I accelerate past them at a high velocity, because I've always been good at basically getting around that problem. Anyway, over here, more components. That these are mainly connectors, so your 0.1s and your 0.156s, which are commonly found on pinball machines. I don't service pinballs. It's a completely different discipline. I have a very good friend, Arcade UK, and Northern Lights Pinball, who do service pinball machines. Check them out if you want to do anything to do with pinball. Don't ask me. Completely different discipline. Don't understand it. Just too many moving parts, too many components. I'm going to stick to video games. Let them stick to pinball. I'm going to stick to video. Other things, connectors, adapters, blah, it's all rubbish. Well, it's all necessary, it's all useful to me, but, you know, it's boring to keep staring at it. Tray full of cable reels, and we've got a small 12U rack down there, which is going to get moved afterwards, and that's got monitor test gear in and things like that. And then we have my little draggable toolbox, which has got some some drawers and things like that, and it's got this interesting drawer here, which Anthony Graham says is a child-proof safety drawer, because you can't just open it and you can't just pull at it, you have to push in first and then pull back. Ta-da! And that is it. That is the workshop. I'll do a more in-depth sort of thing on the tools and things like that when at the other end of the video, when I've reorganised things. But basically what's going to happen over this video is we're going to completely clear all this bench stuff, and what we're going to do, and people are going to say, yeah, but then you can't use the natural daylight. Well, I work evenings mostly anyway, and when I do work on the PC, I tend to have the curtain closed because it's just too bright for me, or can be too bright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a shelf unit to put everything on over there. I'm going to basically use that area against the window for diagnostics. So I'm going to have all the test gear, all the scopes, the power supplies, everything on that side. And I've got the whole run of this 8-foot bench here that I can use to put large boards out. It's going to sit at very, very back. There's a reasonable overhang at the back where it can prop itself against the wall. I'm going to be able to put monitors on there, power supplies, some shelving at the top for some components and things like that. Nothing's going to fall off the back of it because I'm going to put some little battens on and things like that. Anyway, you'll see all that as it gets put into place and we start to fill it up. I'm then going to keep this bench over here for soldering. So this is going to be, there's going to be no jammer loom on there, there's going to be nothing, it's just going to purely be on that side for doing the soldering jobs. Desoldering, resoldering, it's going to have the bench light on. We're going to get another one of these things for over here, but I'm probably going to do it with some LED strips to illuminate as much as I can of the bench itself. So this bench over here will be completely for soldering and an overflow, so if I'm doing a long loom that needs an L bend in it, you know, I can just basically cable all the way across here and onto here. And then this bench over here is going to be purely for test lab gear. Now, I don't know, it's going to be kind of a, can I be bothered? I need to get this job done as quickly as possible, so do I film every step? Don't know. Will I film little bits of it along the way? Every time I have to stop, put a tool down and pick up the camera, it slows the process up, and there just isn't enough SD card for me to put it on the tripod, leave it in the corner and film it in stop motion. But we'll see what we can do. Anyway, that's the plan for all of this. So I'm going to crack on. Now, I'm narrating this as I go, and I'm stood here, and I haven't really prepped and thought about how it's all going to turn out. So you really are getting it kind of like, you know, rough-shod, gonzo style camera shoot, you know, run and gun photography here. I am literally just going to make some decisions as I go as to how I get it done, and it's going to start with a bit of a clean out. So you might see some time lapse, you might not. It might be that the next cut here after this literally is the end of the project and it's done. But that's what it looks like now. This is a reference. Today is, what is it? Friday the what are we on? 14th. Friday the 14th of August 2015. And this is the crappy state of my workshop. I'm going to do a panorama shot on the camera as well, on the phone. But that's the crappy state of my workshop come office at the moment. And I used to be in that little room next door, for anybody who's been to one of the previous parties. And I decided, why am I wasting a 12-foot by 16-foot room that I could be using as an office and workshop? Why am I cramming myself into a little 12-foot by 6-foot space when I can have 16 by 12? Thank you very much. So I'm in this room, and this is going to be my workshop now until I move out of the place. And the plan is ultimately is to make this the workshop and office, but move the studio gear back into the middle room and have that as it was going to be the console room. It's now going to be the studio room. I'll walk through and have a quick look. The light's a bit pants in here, so I'll put the light on, but it won't make much difference during the daytime. So this room here was going to be a console room for me, a little games room. I'm going to make it back into a studio. It does have a spare bed. I need that for when my girlfriend Carol's boy comes to stay with us now and again when they're both up for the weekend. So I need him to have a room. What I might do though is I might re-kit this back with all its tables around the side, because I kept everything and all the screws and all the rest of it. What I might do is put a pull-out sofa bed in there. I don't know. He's getting old now. He doesn't go to bed quite as early, so by the time he goes to bed at night, I'm not really interested in doing any more in the workshop or the office when he's here. And I have a laptop. If I really need to do anything else, I can sit at the counter and do stuff, or just move the Mac for a few days whilst they're here, because they don't live here yet. When we all live together, the apartment's being sold or rented out, and I'm having a house for us all. So when we all finally... And that's more of my personal life than really I like to share with most people, because I don't like... you get stalkers. And people sort of wanting to know a little bit too much about your personal life, and... I think my own life, yeah, it's an open book. You can find out anything you want about me, but keep your hands off my missus and her family, or there'll be trouble. And we're not just talking about, idle threats. You've all seen The Godfather and things like that, and there's a nice long way down there to the road, so, keep your hands off. Anyway, just a friendly little public service warning. Who wants to see the arcade? Who wants to see the current state of the place? So, we've all had a look in there. You've seen the hallway. At the moment, I've got a couple of machines out here. Let's see if the hall lights will come on. Ta-da! Yep. So at the moment, I've got a couple of machines out here being worked on. So I've got a Gauntlet Legends that got picked up. I've got a Lethal Enforcers over there, which needs a monitor repair, that one. I don't know if this one actually needs anything to do with it. What I'm not happy about is the fact that this was bought with a monitor, a 20-odd inch monitor, which was supposed to go back into it. It had been fitted with an LCD, and I haven't even powered it up since it got here. And unfortunately, the LCD was necked, and that's why it didn't work. Anyway... there's a Missile Command cocktail table under all that lot, which belongs to a friend of mine called Gareth. And I've done the board for it now. I just need to do the monitor, which involves crating it up and get it sent off. So we'll come back inside. Let's have a look in here. So previously you saw the Burger Time video and things that are in here. So I've got a Goliath Mark III at the moment in here. I've got the Donkey Kong, the Popeye, the Tempest is there. Burger Time, the cocktail table. A couple of monitors over there. Mad Planets and Cubert, see in here. Star Wars cockpit still lives with me. That's never going anywhere. In fact, when I come to sell the place, I may have to make the difficult decision whether to sell it with the place, actually. Or, well... No, that's just not going to happen. We know I'll dismantle it and it'll get carried out. I have video of it getting in here, so it'll get back out if it came in. New bench power supply waiting to go in the workshop. My lovely Missile Command I bought. TRON, Gorf. Yes, I know I still owe you guys the TRON repair video. In fact, let's talk about that for a second in a moment. There's a Paperboy cabinet. Looking lovely. There's the Gorf. I've got a Videomaster Gemma cab here. That's the one that Carol bought me, the first one that got me into the whole arcade thing. It's your fault, woman. Puckman, Battlezone, the Cabaret, and starting over that side, we've got a two bin in that corner, which belongs to somebody else. I don't own either of the two bins. I'm just working on them for people. That's the Asteroids cab that I keep talking about to people. This is one actually by Alka, who somebody who made licensed clones in the UK of certain games. We'll talk more about it when I come to work on it, but it's a brilliant cabinet. I love the look of it. A lot of people have actually said they like the look of this more than they do Asteroids. I like the iconic Asteroids cab look, and I'm on the lookout for one, if anybody has one that's for sale, to use, you know, just basically for here. Now, I'm going to do this up, but because it's a rare one, I'm going to see if Andy wants to put it in the arcade once it's working, because it's one of those I think should be preserved and shown to people in a more controlled environment than taking it on the road. Either way, I don't know. I might take it out. It might just live here. I love Asteroids just as much as I love any other game, and I wanted one at home. So it might just live here. I don't know yet. If I find one of the big upright ones, I'll probably have that here. Rally X, which I've been looking after for a friend of ours, Dom Rav of UK VAC. All works. The explosion sound seems to have died on it recently, so we'll have to look into that and investigate and fix. Black & Decker bag full of more tools. Wizard of War, also owned by Rav from UK VAC. Needs a little tiny bit of maintenance still, so I got it to boot up and not have graphics problems. It has a soundboard fault, but I suspect the soundboard fault is actually that the amp is either not getting any power or the speaker doesn't work or is disconnected. Haven't looked much further into it than getting it up and running. Also, the Start 2 button is stuck on this, so it always, because it's in free play, it will always keep starting a 2-player game. Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, waiting for a PCB to be sorted out, and Defender, which I did in a swap with Andy for an upright Williams cab, which I got, and that's now got. I acquired a J-Rock board thanks to Russ J from UK VAC for this, which will be going into this machine. I am actually going to try and fix the Williams board that's in there, but I do want this to actually be a multi-Williams cab. That is my plan for it. The Defender marquee, I'm probably just going to leave it there, or may buy one of the Repro multi-Williams cab marquees to put into it. I don't know. It's a heck of a lot easier. If you're a Williams fan and you want to play multiple games, it's a lot easier to get this control panel, which belongs to a Defender, made, because it's a single piece of wood with some T-moulding on the front, than it is to get the shaped metal ones made, because that involves going to a metal bender, and then they start umming and ahhing and, oh, well, you know, I could do an order for about 100 of them before I'll bend this piece of metal, even though the machinery's right there, you know. Oh, our union won't like that, you know, bending a piece of metal without an order from a big PLC. Oh. Anyway, I'm just taking the mick. Yes, you can get metal work fabricated, but I just find it's easier. If you can do it with wood, do it with wood, because, and I don't have a horrible lead time or try to find somebody. Even though I actually live in what could be classed comfortably as Metalwork City, Blackburn. Try to find somebody who understands what the hell you're talking about when you say, can you copy this for me? Well, can you strip it down to its bare metal? Why? Make a form. I can make you a template for it. Anyway, so that's going to become a multi-Williams cab. The J-Rock board will probably go in there, even though I will fix up the Williams board for the experience of fixing the Williams Defender board. But it's not a huge, it's kind of a long-term project, but then I can have multiple panels made that all fit on the same harness, and I'll be able to play Joust properly. I know you can get a Defender control panel with all the buttons and everything on it, but if I want this to be a Joust cab, I can put Joust on. If I want this to be a Robotron cab, I can put a Robotron panel on it and not have to worry about trying to play one of the other games around a lot of other controls. There's plenty of storage. These things are quite sort of dead air. I've measured it up. There's enough space in the back and for me to put some hooks and actually keep the spare control panels inside it. It's got wheels on, so it's very simple for me to move. I can convert it over within, say, 10-15 minutes at the most. The monitor works on this as well. That's the best bit. So I don't have that headache to worry about. And that's it. That's it for the tour. And that's going to be it for this segment of this video. Now, this might get uploaded as part 1, or it might be that I just cut away here and then you see me start to build a new bench, or you see the end of it. But either way, that's the end of this first segment. I've waffled on for too long. The camera says it's 14 minutes plus the other bits of segments that I did before that, the intros and stuff. So that's it. Yes, I know I owe you I know that I owe you all a TRON video. A lot of people have asked about this, and I was going to do this as a completely separate thing. Let me find the thing. So this is my 27-inch iMac that I have used now for 2, coming up to 3 years since I bought it. It's one of the better decisions I've made in my IT career, and a lot of people are going to go, ooh, Apple Mac, I hate Apple Mac, I hate Apple Mac. Well, you know what, tough. You're not sat here. I prefer them. That's my decision. That's where we're going with it. Okay, right, and the hair's all fucked up today. Apple Mac, right, forget it. So there it is, and about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, I was moving the other office around. Oh, I think I've got my finger over the mouse. Let's start again, just in case that needed to cut. All right, so the Apple Mac. I bought this 3 years ago when it came out. It's the late 2012 model, and about a year into that, so late 2013, early 2014. I was moving the other office around, the old one next door, and I put it on the floor and then picked it back up to put it on the table where I'd moved everything to, and it slipped out of my hand. One corner slipped out of my hand, it then dropped and sort of kind of pivoted over because I was still holding on to the base and everything, and I just couldn't grab it quick enough, and it hit the corner. In fact, it hit this corner up here and dog-eared it. If I can find the photo I took of it, I'll put it up. It dog-eared. So I sent it off, and it had to have a new back and a new screen. And okay, so I paid the money to get it all fixed, because some of it was in warranty, some of it was out of warranty, so I had a service charge to pay. And it was all fine until January, February this year, and then one day it said, oh, you need to do a software update. And I did the software update and left it running overnight, because I know they can take a while to complete. And when I came the next day, it was sat there, just stuck at the boot screen, at the Apple logo screen. A little bit of digging, and it turns out, unfortunately, cutting a long story short, that the hard drive was dead in it. This is the original 3 terabyte drive that was plugged into it. This is a Fusion system. So unfortunately, this drive is it's a conjoined drive with a controller with the SSD drive that they put in with it, and that basically meant that I couldn't just mount the drive. Anyway, I hassled Apple under the warranty and everything, and they were really cool. And what Apple did was they took this machine and they replaced the drive, so it was all booted up and running again, so it works, and that was under Apple Care. Thank you very much, guys. But they were also really generous and removed the old drive and sent it back to me with it. Normally they don't do that. I was able to sort of plead my case, and they escalated it up to one of their managers, and the manager said, yeah, it's no problem, okay, we'll just mark the service ticket and you'll get the drive back with it. Yay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I can't read the data off it. Well, I can. It recognises there are some partitions there, but will not mount them. It says there are errors. Basically, somewhere in about cylinder 8192 on the drive, it fails at that point. So that tells me either the stepper motor can't go past 8192, or the controller for the drive is knackered. I need to send it off. The cost of data recovery for that drive is estimated at something like £700-800. All the media and files that I had for the TRON video were on that, including all the assets for the lower thirds and all the other stuff. There's also, it's not just that. I have the SD card, fortunately, where I had done a lot of the work on video 4 and onwards, and I've captured some more video that's not been released yet, which will be video 5. And you all know that it's in operation now. I think you've seen me do a video testing a spinner controller, which I repaired for Arcade Club. Anyway, this particular drive needs to be recovered, and so I need to get some money together to get it sent off to a data recovery place and get the stuff of it, because I have other things on there which I want to share with you guys, such as we documented the entire build, or pretty much all of the build of the unit, and a lot of the source media is on there. And it's my own fault, and you're all going to laugh and all the rest of it, and, you know, go ahead, laugh. I didn't have backups, or I thought I had backups of it, but I just didn't have all the backups of it. So I've got little bits, but I haven't got the entire lot. of all the stuff to do with the build of the arcade and all the things, and sort of cutaway shots of where I'd sent people around with the camera to do things like Ben did his, and we published that, but there were others. So I need to send it off. The cost is estimated somewhere between £600 and £1,000 to get it recovered. I'm not opposed to paying it, I just don't have it, because I keep having to buy parts and do bench upgrades and things like that at the moment. Now, I'm not coming out with a bleeding heart and everything and saying, you know, this is, I need everybody to fund me, or starting a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or all the rest of it, because, you know, it's not your problem to solve this problem. A lot of people would immediately go to Kickstarter and try and raise the money, and it's not that I'm opposed to going to Kickstarter to raise the money or anything like that. It's just I don't think it's your problem to fund me. To solve a problem that I should really, you know, I work in IT and I should know better, basically, than to not have backups. Video is just too big to put up in the cloud. We're talking gigabytes at a time of source video, because it's all in 1920 1080, and I publish in 720p because it just takes a lot less time to upload to YouTube. I would love to be able to do 1920 1080 60 frame a second straight to YouTube. I would love to be able to do that, but it's just not possible. I don't have the bandwidth to do it, and I don't have the facilities really to edit it, and the files just end up too big. So I need to get that sent off. I do have some source video which I am going to edit together, but it's a very depressing task to have to rebuild assets that you've already built, and I already built all the intros and the lower thirds and all that sort of thing. I'm going to have to try and do them again, and I don't have some of the source. So what you're going to see when I do publish the Tron videos is something that's kind of almost there. It's not quite complete. You'll see all the action, but it won't be as a continuity for a series, for a playlist. It won't be perfect. I'm a bit ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of the fact that the drive died and I didn't have any way to get the data off it. Well, I do. It's sat there on the bench. I just need to spend the money to get it sent off. I'm sorry that the camera's moving around. I'm holding it literally by hand at the moment. I don't agree with selfie sticks for cameras, and I couldn't be asked to set the tripod up. So anyway, that's where we are with the Tron video. You've got as much information as I can share with you on that subject. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing, or get back to the next. In fact, actually, no. You know what? This video is going to be too long as it is. So I'm going to end this video here, this first part of this video here. There's some other videos coming soon as well, which are in part 1 status at the moment. So I have the Pac-Man high score free play upgrade, that's coming soon. We've got some more board repair stuff that's going to be going on. We've got some general maintenance. I'm going to Margate next week to do Play Margate with 20 or so machines. And John Studley's having yet another attempt at Pac-Man, and I really hope he does it this time. Even he's saying, I want to get this thing out of the way now. I do. I really hope, dude, that Margate is the venue for it for you. We've got to get this done in a live setting, and we thought it was going to be Blackpool. Then we thought it was, you know, and it's not machine failure problems. It's just, you know, it's just circumstance. You can have a good day and you can have a bad day, and that's about it. That's all you can say. Right, so till the next video, which will be coming out very, very soon, because this job behind me of doing this bench is literally the next job. I am not doing any more repair videos until this job is done. I do have to go out and service some machines, though, of mine that are in storage, so ready for next week and for other upcoming events. Anyway, so if you've stumbled across this video from a search and you like this kind of thing and you like what we're going to be doing, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button up in the corner or down below, wherever it is on whatever device you're watching it on, because it jumps around. YouTube don't have any consistency anymore. Do give us a like as well if you do like it, and leave a comment and talk to us a little bit. I answer all the comments on the videos that I make. Ben is supposed to answer all the comments on all the video he makes. He does his retro rambles on a Wednesday, which is quite funny writing and discussions about old and obsolete consoles and things that were definitely a miss rather than a hit. Check him out. He's done 5 shows so far, and he's got way more planned, and they're all quite funny. In fact, he takes the mick out of the fact that I can't play a certain game in the latest one, so do check it out. They're all on a playlist on the channel here. Don't forget to hit the old subscribe, like, and don't be afraid to share. What I really want to see more people do is share the video. It's almost like you want to keep this kind of a top secret. Oh, I'm in the know. I know this guy. I've got a guy, you know, and he does these videos and he tells you, he shows how to fix things. Don't be afraid to share this stuff out. You know, and too many people will take a picture of a puppy and share that for no bloody reason whatsoever, but they can't share a video of actual something that makes some sense. Yeah, there's a whole psychology reason why people do that. It's called wanting to be popular, and you don't want to look like a geek in front of your friends for sharing a video of a guy doing a repair, even though secretly you are going, when's the next one, when's the next one? Right, that's it. I've talked enough and my voice is going hoarse, and I'm hoping that last interruption told me that I should have some lunch coming back. Okay, so until the next video, see you all later.